Bottoms, oh boy, it's a roller coaster ride from start to finish. Picture this. You've got PJ and Josie, two awesome queer teens. PJ's all impulsive, while Josie's a bit more on the reserved side. They both have this massive crush on the cheerleaders, but hey, they're not exactly feeling like superstar material. Football players like Jeff have all the spotlight, but here's where it gets wild. A little mix-up makes everyone think PJ and Josie did time in juvie over the summer. So what do? They roll with it, of course. Then, another school called Huntington decides to mess with the Vikings, and PJ and Josie end up leading a secret fight club. Supposedly, it's all about empowering women, but things get messy when their crushes, Isabel and Brittany, join in. The drama hits its peak when Tim, Jeff's right-hand guy, uncovers the truth about the juvie story, and suddenly the fight club is falling apart. But wait for it. Because just when things seem darkest, Huntington is about to make a move against their school. That's when the Fight Club gang realizes they've got to put their differences aside and unite to save the football team. Bottoms wraps up with an ending that'll knock your socks off. It's a real knockout finale, I tell ya. The Fight Club kills the whole Huntington team. So think about your classic high school movies, right? Well, Bottoms takes a page out of their playbook and goes big for its grand finale. It's all about the epic showdown, the Vikings facing off against their sworn rivals, Huntington High. Now, throughout the movie, these pesky Huntington students keep causing trouble for PJ and Josie's crew. It's like a never-ending threat, so the gang decides they need some self-defense skills, pronto. Cue the wacky self-defense club led by Mr. G, who's all about feminism, played by none other than Marshawn Lynch. What starts as a pretty bizarre series of meetings where people end up with black eyes turns into an opportunity for these teens to become hand-to-hand combat masters. And guess what? The ultimate test comes during the movie's climax when they charge onto the field to protect Jeff and the Viking players. Now, this is where it gets wild. Even though PJ and Josie's pals felt totally betrayed by them, even Isabel and Brittany, the cheerleaders, drop their pom-poms and jump into the action, giving the Huntington football players a serious beatdown. And here's the crazy part. The crowd in the stands is actually cheering for this ultra-violent, bone-snapping spectacle. It's all just so over-the-top and ludicrous, but it fits perfectly with the movie's whole vibe of high school mayhem. After what looks like the whole Huntington squad gets taken down, the blood-soaked Fight Club members celebrate their win and the whole town claps for them. It's a shocker of an ending, for sure. The Huntington team wants to kill a player from the Vikings team. So in the Fight Club's perspective, Huntington kind of had it coming. After the whole juvie lie blows up, PJ and Josie, who were once BFFs, start pointing fingers at each other. Things get super frustrating, and Josie decides to have a heart-to-heart with Punky Johnson's character, Rhodes. But to be honest, Rhodes doesn't offer much help. Instead, Josie figures out on her own that Huntington has some sinister plans. They want to off a Viking player to win the big game. With the showdown on the horizon, Josie realizes this deadly deed is set to go down right on the field. So, she pulls a gather-round-everyone moment and convinces the Fight Club gang that they've got to put aside the initial club-making lie and take action. They've formed some real bonds, after all. Now here's a fun twist. Throughout the movie, there's this running gag about Jeff, the star player, and Josie's kind of romantic rival being seriously allergic to pineapple. So, when the sprinklers suddenly go off on the field, Josie realizes that Huntington spiked the water system with pineapple juice to take out Jeff once and for all. What starts as an attempt to save the somewhat self-absorbed Jeff turns into an all-out brawl, like a real battle royale. And guess what? PJ and Josie's Fight Club ends up taking down the Huntington players in a crazy, unexpected turn of events. Josie and Isabel have their moment, while PJ and Brittany don't. In the first scenes of Ayo Edebiri's fresh comedy, we get a real clear picture of PJ and Josie's friendship vibe. PJ's like a determined bulldozer in her quest to win over Brittany, while Josie's more of a let's quietly observe Isabel from a distance kind of person. PJ, being PJ, doesn't hesitate to tell Josie that this passive approach won't score her any points. But here comes the twist. After a night out that takes a crazy turn, PJ and Josie end up coming to Isabel's rescue when Jeff's causing trouble. This whole situation not only kicks off a rivalry between the inseparable best friends and the Vikings football crew, but also gives Josie a chance to connect with Isabel on a deeper level. Josie isn't exactly thrilled about going along with PJ's little act, pretending they fought and killed people in juvie. But things take a turn when Isabel and Brittany unexpectedly show up at the club's meeting. Josie becomes way more invested in playing the part. So after all those classic moments of will they or won't they that we often see in the best teen raunchy comedies, Josie and Isabel finally make out and have some sweet moments together. So while all this is happening, PJ decides to make a move on Brittany. But then Brittany tells PJ that she's not queer. Josie is feeling really conflicted and can't find the courage to tell the truth. But things take a turn when Tim starts spreading the lies around school shortly after they start hooking up. The plot thickens. So, Isabel's not thrilled about being in a relationship that's basically built on a giant lie. Things get rocky, and PJ and Josie finally realize that their web of falsehoods isn't just causing chaos in their love lives, but messing up the whole club dynamic. After a bit of a rocky road, the gang reunites to take on Huntington, and their bonds get stronger than ever. It's like a classic friends coming together moment. Now, here comes the grand finale. Isabel lays it out, saying Josie could have just talked to her instead of going through all this Fight Club stuff to impress her. Josie, though, drops a real zinger, saying she's not entirely sure that's the case. Then they share a kiss that seals the deal on their relationship. It's a real heartwarming moment. Even though PJ doesn't end up with Brittany, there's a silver lining, a promising kiss she shares with Hazel. Love's in the air, folks. Why do PJ and Josie lie about Juvie? You know how it goes. People are flocking to join their group left and right. And even Isabel and Brittany, who are understandably freaked out about the whole Huntington situation, want in on the self-defense action with PJ and Josie. At first, it's all about showboating with some punches thrown around, mostly at each other and some brave volunteers. But you know what? It starts growing into something more real. The club members aren't just getting better at fighting. They're becoming more confident and capable. And bonus, it's the perfect excuse to hang out and bond with Isabel and Brittany. Friendship and fighting moves. It's a combo deal, ending explained. Alright, so even though Bottoms doesn't serve up a post-credit scene, its ending is like a statement in itself. The whole movie is this wild ride of subversive humor, like irreverent and in-your-face, and it's cranked up to 11 with its breakneck pace and non-stop jokes. What's even more ridiculous is that the characters just roll with the craziest stuff, like that one football player chilling in a classroom cage instead of sitting at a desk. It's just accepted as normal in their world. It's like Bottoms is poking fun at all those classic teen movie tropes while also digging deeper into them. For instance, Jeff's gang of football players is worshipped by the whole town, but guess what? When the chips are down, it's not the jocks with the power or the confidence to save the day. Nope, they're sipping pineapple juice while the cheerleaders and the so-called social outcasts are the ones charging onto the field to kick some butt. Now let's rewind to the start of the movie where Josie's all passive and lacking in confidence, barely able to talk to Isabel. But when Isabel hops into Josie's car to escape Jeff, that's when Josie takes her first, tiny but significant step by giving Jeff a little tap with her bumper. It's like a glimpse of the crazy action that's about to unfold, and it definitely catches Isabel's attention, leaving Josie hungry for more. Throughout the film, the violence is just off the charts ridiculous, like laugh-out-loud funny. But it's not just for kicks. It's a way for Josie and the gang to build confidence and grow emotionally. And that epic finale where they take out the Huntington football team? It's Bottoms hammering home the message that being passive isn't the way to go. Josie's journey from passive to powerhouse allows her to connect with Isabel, make some solid friendships, and just grow as a person. And hey, the movie makes it clear she doesn't need to spin lies to come out on top. That's all for today's video. What did you think of this film? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, then please like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.